What's up, guys? Welcome to Cage Side Connor. I am Connor. Today's video is going to be my UFC 319 preview slash prediction show slash some bets you can make slash just overall fucking hype because I am amped for this fucking fight, man. This main event is a good one. I am so excited. I'm giddy. I'm giddy about it. DDP versus Khamzat Chimaev going down in Chicago tomorrow night. That would be August 16th. I can't fucking wait. I am so excited for this fight. It's a good one. It's a good one. It's rare. Maybe 3 or 4 times a year a main event in the UFC gets me going like this, gets me amped, gets me pumped, gets me a little excited, if you know what I'm saying. And this is definitely doing it for me. And the card's pretty great overall. Not the best card, but it is what it is, as one Max Holloway would say. It's a decent card. There's definitely some great fights sprinkled in throughout the prelims, and then some great fights on the main card as well. But really, we're just all here for this main event, kind of a or boxing model type card, I guess, if you want to call it that. Not really though. I mean, there's still some hype ass shit on the main card too. Don't get me wrong. So let's get into it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel before we get into the whole video here. I make a lot of videos like this, a lot of preview videos, and some topical MMA videos. If you want to go check those out, I recently did matching up the UFC flyweights, the ranked UFC flyweights. Made a video on that recently. I made a video on what I think the White House card could be, like the main card of the White House card, if that interests you at all. So yeah, if any of that interests you, subscribe to the channel, check those out. I'd appreciate it. Let's get into the video then, guys. First fight, of course, is one Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev for the UFC middleweight title, 185. Dricus du Plessis coming in at a plus 180. Khamzat Chimaev coming in at a minus 235. God, I'm so excited for this fucking fight. It's such a good fight. Two guys in their prime, two guys undefeated, at least in the UFC. And it's just, Khamzat Chimaev finally getting a title shot here. We've all been talking about this one for years now, ever since the fucking pandemic era when he first came in the UFC. And he did that 3 fights in like a fucking 2 month span or whatever. And Dricus du Plessis, of course, has had a hell of a run during his time in the UFC. I believe he's 9-0 in the UFC right now. Hamza is 8-0 in the UFC right now. And it's just great, man. Two guys undefeated in their primes going at it. Gonna be fucking awesome. Who is gonna win here? That is definitely the question, right? And it's like I feel like I don't have much anything like unique to tell you guys that you haven't already heard from all the other analysts. I'm sure you guys probably watch and listen to all the other MMA YouTubers you guys probably listen to. It's like rounds 1 and 2 heavily lean towards Sajat Chimaev. Rounds 3 through 5 heavily lean towards Dricus du Plessis. And it's just will we even get there, Uh I typically I just lean towards my gut with these mostly, or like what was my initial reaction? Who did I think would win when the fight first got announced, when it was officially booked? And what first came to mind was just Khamzat Chimaev by submission round one. That's like the first thing that comes to mind, and I think that's the first thing that comes to mind for everyone because that's just kind of what Khamzat Chimaev does. There's been some cases here and there, Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, where he hasn't been able to do that, but a vast majority of fights he has been able to do that, and it's just that's the first thing that comes to mind. And a lot of times your first instinct is what ends up being correct in this sport, I think. And so yeah, it is the popular answer, but I'm gonna go Hamza Chimaev sub round one. That's my pick. I don't feel great about it. I won't be surprised at all if Dricus du Plessis is able to get this one done. Like I said, it gets to round 3, I would immediately put 100% of my bets on Dricus du Plessis to like not only win but probably get a finish, because that probably means Hamzat's tired and Dricus du Plessis. Yeah, he might be tired, but he don't give a fuck. He's just gonna come forward and probably get a TKO at that point. He's gonna land a bunch of body shots. If we're in the third round and Hamzat's over there huffing and puffing, and Dricus du Plessis is staring him down, and the bell rings for the third round, you bet your ass Dricus du Plessis is gonna just walk forward and start chucking bombs, start going for takedowns of his own, and probably get Hamzat out of there. So I know I don't really have a unique answer or anything you haven't heard already, but my official pick will be Hamzat sub round one, probably rear naked choke. But if not, it'll be Drake du Plessis by TKO, I'd imagine. Drake Duplessis, of course, coming off the win over Sean Strickland in the rematch, which he looked great in that fight. Really well put together, great game plan, and kind of just outclassed Sean Strickland in the rematch there. Of course, I mean he has wins over Israel Adesanya, Robert Whitaker, Darren Till, Derek Brunson at this point. So he has some great wins over great middleweights already, and it'll be such an interesting story if DDP is able to get this one done and just keep adding this. Like this will be the last time I ever pick against Drake Duplessis, unless he ever moves up to light heavyweight. Even then, I might not pick against him, but this will be the last time I ever pick against DDP at middleweight at the very least, because it's like, what do we have in the future if DDP does win? DDP versus Imarov, that's I'm picking DDP. DDP versus RDR, I'm picking DDP. DDP versus Anthony Hernandez, still probably picking DDP. That's a closer one, but probably picking DDP, especially if he beats Hamza Chimaev, right? So Hamza Chimaev, of course, coming off the win over Robert Whitaker, which crushed his fucking teeth in. And this is the real reason why. If we were coming off the Kamaru Usman fight, I think the odds would be heavily favored in DDP's into DDP, right? But we're not. We're coming off the Robert Whitaker fight in which he subbed him round one. So now he's a heavy favorite again. So I feel like we do quickly forget in this sport. It's definitely what have you done for you? What have you done for me lately type of sport. But yeah, it's just hard to deny Hamza Chimaev and how talented he is, and how good he is once he gets you into this position. Of course, you can look at that Gilbert Burns fight, right? And like that one's a war. This is what I'm hoping for, right? Is like I hope we get a 5-round fucking war out of this fight. I don't even care who wins. If we get a 5-round war, we all win. And that'd be great. If it's like the Gilbert Burns fight, that'd be fucking sick. So yeah, I'm hoping for that. But my official pick will be Hamza Chimaev. So round one, probably a naked joke. Don't feel great about it. On your co-main event, then Lerone Murphy taking on Aaron Pico in his UFC debut. Lerone Murphy coming in at plus 144. Aaron Pico minus 186. Yeah, I like Pico in this fight. I know a lot of guys from Bellator have been coming over and not doing good in the UFC, especially right in their debut. I know obviously Pitbull got his win now, and then Patchy Mix has a fight scheduled now for October 4th, but we'll see if he's able to win that one against a UFC newcomer, which I also found interesting. But whatever. Besides the point, I think Aaron Pico will kind of break that trend, and I think he's going to look good doing it. Aaron Pico kind of entering his prime now. He's only 28 years old, and this kid's been a highly touted prospect since he was, I don't know, before he was even an adult. Lerone Murphy has been very good in his own right. Don't get me wrong. Lerone Murphy, of course, coming off the win over Josh Emmett from back in April. In which he looked very good in that fight. It's just, he's kind of getting older, especially for featherweight. He's 34, and this is one of those guys where UFC you dick them around for too long, and now he's getting older. He's almost past his prime, and he's just entering into title shot conversation. And that's a real goddamn shame because it's like maybe 3-4 years ago he'd be in his prime, have years ahead of him still in the game. But just one of those guys where UFC made him take the long road, and he had a fight. What's he on? Like an 8-fight win streak right now, featherweight. It's crazy, and he's just now getting in title shot conversations. Even right now, right? Like Aaron Pico's not even a ranked UFC fighter. Even if Lerone Murphy does win this one, it's like, well, yeah, Aaron Pico is not a UFC fighter, so he sucks. That's what people are gonna say, right? So kind of feel bad for him in a way. I hope if he does win, he does get the title shot against Volkanovski. Just give it to him because, like I said, he's aging. Aaron Pico coming off a win over Henry Corrales from back way last year. I think that was like February 2024, and this was actually a rematch, so he got revenge in this fight because he got knocked out by Henry Corrales when he was much younger. But yeah, Aaron Pico, he's just a wild man. He walks forward, throws bombs, throws heavy body shots, nasty hooks. And he's a solid wrestler in his own right. And I think he's definitely going to use that to win a few rounds against Lerone Murphy. But ultimately, I think he will find Lerone Murphy's chin and get a KO. Dude's got heavy hands. So I'm going to pick Aaron Pico by KO, probably like round 2 or 3. Probably go 2 officially, but don't feel great about that. Might go 3 as well. I would just put Aaron Pico by finish if you are a betting man. Next fight then, Jeff Neal taking on Carlos Prates. Jeff Neal coming in at plus 200. Carlos Prates on minus 265. This is a very interesting fight. The two possibly the two heaviest hitters down at welterweight. You know, if you kind of think about it, Jeff Neal fucking cracks, Carlos Prates fucking cracks. So, very heavy hands with both guys, and both guys don't really have a tendency to getting finished. I guess Jeff Neal more so than Carlos Prates. Jeff Neal coming off the win over RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos last year, in which that was a weird one. He kind of kicked his leg, and RDA got injured. RDA a bit too old to be fighting guys like Jeff Neal right now. Carlos Prates, of course, coming off the loss to Ian Gary, in which he took that fight on short notice, if I'm remembering correctly, and yeah, lost that one. Lost 4 rounds. Came back in the fifth though, and so hopefully him winning the fifth round gives him a bit more confidence here. Of course, Carlos Prates, huge hitter, you know, just heavy hands. Knockout of Lee here was fucking nasty. Go back and watch that one if you've never seen it. It's a devastating knockout. I'm actually leaning towards Jeff Neal here by decision. I think Carlos Prates, I don't know, something about that Ian Gary fight where he just if he can't find the knockout, I think he kind of gives up in there a little bit. And obviously, I guess that fifth round kind of proves my point around there. But so I don't know. I don't know. Let's see how he bounces back off of his first loss here. I could see Jeff Neal squeezing out a decision here. Remember, Jeff Neal very hard to finish. Like I don't think he's putting Jeff Neal away. So I think Jeff Neal's gonna win a decision here. I think it'll be a close fight, but I think Jeff Neal's just gonna land a bit more and squeeze out 2 rounds here, and the judges are gonna end up giving him the nod. Not confident on that, but I got a feeling. Pick Neal here. Next fight then on the main card as well. Jared Cannonier taking on Michael Venom Page. Jared Cannonier coming in at plus 158. Michael Venom Page coming in at minus 205. I am not a big Michael Venom Page fan. I don't know. He's kind of boring, guys. You know, I don't mean to come on here and just like hate on fighters, but he's just I don't know. Michael Venom Page, he just ain't it. He ain't it. You know, take the Kevin Holland fight, for example. Michael Venom Page versus Kevin Holland. Uh Michael Venom Page got that karate style, right? That very counterpuncher style. But then go back and watch Kevin Holland versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and how exciting that fight was, you know? And then you watch the Michael Venom Page one, and it's boring as shit, in my opinion. You know, I know he landed a couple good shots on Kevin Holland in that fight, and that was somewhat exciting. And the Shara Bullet fight was good, not great, in my opinion. It was okay. But it's just, I don't know. Everyone hypes up Michael Venom Page, and it's like, this guy hasn't really knocked out anyone of UFC caliber, you know? And I know everyone says that, and that's just like, oh, this guy, he's just a UFC fan. I get it. But it's just, he really hasn't. He hasn't had one of those amazing, devastating knockouts in a long fucking time at this point. It's just I feel like the UFC got him so late in his career. Bellator dicked Michael Venom Page around for fucking a decade. You know, how long did it take Michael Venom Page to get a title shot in Bellator? Forever. You know, and then when he did, I know he got knocked out by Douglas Lima. I'm not holding that against him, but like I don't know. I've never been an MVP fan. I don't like his antics. I don't like his fighting style. I think he's kind of boring. Is all I'm basically trying to say. Now that I'm done shitting on Michael Venom Page, I still don't think he's gonna win this fight. I know. Jared Cannonier is pretty good. You know, Jared Cannonier's got good game plans. And I feel like him and the team down there at guys at TriStar. I don't know what's the John Crouch gym. MMA Lab, not TriStar. TriStar's in Canada. MMA Lab. I feel like they normally put together pretty good game plans, and I feel like they'll have something ready to go for Michael Venom Page here. And I just hope this doesn't end up being a shitty fight, because I could see a world where this fight sucks. You guys remember Izzy versus Jared Cannonier? The fight was terrible, and I could see a world where Jared Cannonier and Michael Venom Page are just staring at each other for 15 minutes, and Michael Venom Page is throwing like 2 strikes per round, and Jared Cannonier's just looking at him the whole time, trying to figure out what to do, and he's going for takedowns, and he's shooting from halfway across the octagon and missing, and yeah, I don't know. I'm picking Jared Cannonier. I'm gonna go by decision, and I think this was a bad idea to put this fight on the main card. If you're the UFC, I think it was a bad idea to put this fight together in general. But I am picking Jared Cannonier by decision because I don't like Michael Venom Page. That's really why I'm biased as fuck. Your last fight then on the main card. Oh yeah, Jared Cannonier coming off the loss to oh no, the win to RoboCop, in which he was losing that fight to be fair, but then he came back, got that dog in him in the last couple rounds there. Yeah, I think it would benefit Jared Cannonier a little bit more here if this fight was 5 rounds. Uh, but regardless, coming off the win over RoboCop, looked okay in that fight. He was losing majority of that fight, then came back in the fourth. RoboCop, if I'm remembering correctly, he got like dead tired, and Jared Cannonier able to put him away. So I don't know. I guess that's not a good sign for me picking Jared Cannonier here, but like I said, I don't like MVP. MVP coming off the win over Char Bullet. This was a good fight to be fair. I am too much of a hater on MVP, but this was a good fight. He also does have some sick knockouts. Uh, but again, this is like 10 years ago, you know? Talking about 38-year-old Michael Venom Page today. He was like 28 when he did all that cool shit. Your last fight on the main card, then Tim Elliott taking on Kai Arsekora to open the main card. Tim Elliott coming in at plus 235. Kai Arsekora coming in at minus 320. Kai Arsekora coming back off the loss to Alexander Pantoja from last December. Tim Elliott coming off a good win in his own right over, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he got an arm triangle. Tim Elliott did, so good on him. Tim Elliott definitely been the gatekeeper down at flyweight for a very long time now at this point. Like over a decade. Tim Elliott gave DJ a good fight, if you guys remember that one. That was on, God, I want to say they put that on like FX or Fox or whatever. And I think Tim Elliott won the Ultimate Fighter, and the winner got a title shot at DJ. That's how weak the flyweight division was at the time. That they did a whole Ultimate Fighter season around that. God, can you believe that? And yeah, Tim Elliott ended up winning that, and he gave DJ a good fight, if I remember correctly. Had some good grappling scrambles in there. Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch that fight at some point because I remember that being pretty good. But yeah, Kyle Square, like I was saying, coming off the loss to Alexander Pantoja. No shame in losing in Pantoja, but he did not look good in that fight at all. So I still don't understand why Kyle Square got a title shot in his UFC debut. It makes no sense. And then they're making Horiguchi fight someone else. They lined Horiguchi up with like a 10 ranked flyweight, but and Horiguchi has beaten Asakura over in Rising. I don't know. I don't understand it. But whatever. I'm gonna pick Kai Asakura in this fight. He's going to win a decision here. I think he'll be able to stuff some takedowns, look decent on the feet, and you know, just win a couple rounds here. I don't think it'll be like the best fight of the night by any means, but I like the fight. It's a good. This should have been Kai Asakura's UFC debut. This is who he should have been fighting. It was Tim Elliott right away, not Alexander Pantoja. Here go my picks for the whole card. Some of the prelims I kind of want to point out for you guys. Jared Marshart taking on Ola Jacek. I'm picking Jared Marshart there, and he's a pretty big underdog on most betting lines. I'm gonna pick Jared Marshart by sub round 2. Ola Jacek gets submitted quite a bit, quite often. Ola Jacek also got heavy hands, and Jared Marshart has gotten knocked out a couple times recently, so I think that's what the odds makers are kind of looking at. I think they think Ola Jacek's going to crack Jared Marshart at some point and probably put him out, which could definitely happen. But I think Jared Marshart's going to do what Jared Marshart does, and he's going to eventually get a crazy scramble going and find a sub somewhere in the middle of that. Also, Edson Barbosa is the car Klaus. I'm picking Klaus by KO. Who's also a fat underdog, and I wanted to point that out. Dakar Klaus, heavy hands. He's definitely got knockout power in his hands. And Edson Barbosa moving up to lightweight for the first time in a few years now, and I don't think it's gonna serve him too well. Edson Barbosa can be a bit chinny at times. Obviously, one of the best strikers the UFC has ever seen, but and I could totally see where Edson Barbosa wins a decision here. Maybe even knocks him out with something flashy. I don't know. But Dakar Klaus, heavy hands, and I think he's going to find Barbosa's chin at some point. I'm going Dakar Klaus KO, round 2. Those are the main ones I want to point out for you guys. Obviously, that guy from the Contender Series that just won on Tuesday is making his debut here, whose name I also can't pronounce, much like Dana White. Bison, I'm not even going to try that. Nope, not trying that. And that will be, there's my full, obviously, picks in green, guys. Winners in green, losers in red. I also have the method on how I think they will win there for you guys. And then we will rank the card, the pre-fight card ranking. What do we want to do here? It's a good card. It's an amazing main event. It's probably my favorite main event of the year thus far. But I don't think this card is as good as UFC 317 is overall. So I'm going to give this card a solid 8.1. It's a few notches below UFC 317, but still a very good card in its own right. And I really love the main event. Can't wait for it. So yeah, guys. that will do it for the video then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember, subscribe. Let me know if you like the video. Let me know anything else you'd like to see added to these videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys.